Yes, Reds, we are back. Liverpool again, another win in the tank. Fucking hell, could get used to this every week, which seems to be the case. Long may it continue. Rick, how are we?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. It was nice to watch us the other night and just be a little bit chilled watching it and not stress out too much about winning the game and stuff like that.
Lou, making your debut tonight. Buzzing to have you on, lads.
Thank you, mate. Mate, I was going to swear then. Try not to do that. I'm sound, mate. I just watched us. I want to say smash Southampton, but it was anything but. But mate, I'm happy. I'm excited. Carabao Cup, man. Like next round, Crystal Palace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We play them every week, it seems.
Literally, mate, I've seen them more than I've seen my fiance in the past week. Honest to God, I love the Carabao Cup. And for all that people give it a bad rap, some of my best memories have been in the Carabao Cup from when I was younger, and beating Cardiff, Birmingham. I think it's an underrated competition, mate.
It is. Do you know what? Just touching up on that, I think the awkward thing with the Carabao Cup now, though, it's just how the Champions League's made it the final fall in a difficult stage. Lou, do you think? PSG was right next to it, wasn't it? When we played.
Yeah. Well, Slot said today, didn't he? Like he thinks he was the making of the downfall in that, because he said that he kept the same squad, didn't he? And it didn't work out. And look, you've got to give him credit for the fact that he's owning up to it. A lot of us were saying that at the time, and he's had the sort of the courage, I suppose, to step up and go, look, I got this wrong. And like that final, we got absolutely battered, but I think he'll learn from the mistakes of that and understand. Like, there's no treble in 2001 without us winning the Carabao Cup. There's no quadruple if you don't win the Carabao Cup. It's an important competition, and it's not as high as the FA Cup or the League or Champions League, of course, but it's silverware. And I think in any season where you're going through transition, so to speak, winning trophies is so important. Like when we won it in 2022 under Klopp, we won the FA Cup in 2006 under Benitez. It's important to keep winning trophies. So if we can go far in this, mate, and get it done this time round, happy days, mate. Nothing beats a day at Wembley.
Rick, Lou is 100% spot on. You can't beat a day at Wembley. Look, it goes on the board, Rick, and that's the most important thing. Yes, with the amount of games that the teams play now, and it's not just us. Everyone's in a similar boat. But the problem that we have, Rick, we go far in all comps, so it does get tired. And as Lou's just mentioned there, the manager reiterated again, it potentially got something wrong with playing a similar team. So that kind of alludes to the fact why they've probably spent a fair few quid this summer, Rick. He wanted more bodies in there, and we've added the quality. But what's your take with the Carabao?
Yeah, it's an enjoyable competition to watch, because you get teams in it that don't necessarily do well in other competitions, and they seem to go quite far. You do tend to get the odd League One Championship side that goes a little bit deeper into it than, like I said, the FA Cup and stuff like that. And the Slot comments today with the squad situation, I think it's because he didn't trust a lot of people last season. It weren't his team. So he didn't really like to heavily rotate and bring other players in this season, where he's got majority of the players in that he wanted. So he's got the squad to do it. And obviously, we have got some good young players that can get cup games like this. Rio obviously played the other night. You've got Pacetic, can play games. Reece Williams is still there at centre-half. We might need him now in the League Cup.
Where has he been?
Yeah, I mean, he's been on loan a few times. But you might need him now.
It's like an old couch, and he just fucking won't go away.
That Philip was mentally stayed.
Yeah, nuts. I honest to God, when I saw him getting off that bus and he put the thing up, being like, "Oh, it's great to be back," I had like Vietnam flashbacks of 2020, mate. I didn't know what to do. Like, this is horrible.
Expecting Nat to just fucking poke his head out of the front with his fucking airband on. Fucking fucked from that last game. But look, Liverpool are moving in the right way. Fucking hell, the right way, Lou. Finally got my words out there. Fuck me. But the big thing for Liverpool, I felt like with that game, is as much as it was a knockout tie, was Liverpool getting Alexander Isak back in the mould again. He's off the mark. Got that goal. The celebration came out and pissed the whole of Newcastle off. But also, mate, I was speaking to Rick just before. So I can't get enough of listening to him talk. He just sounds like an ultimate killer on the pitch. one of two. He had 2 chances and he nearly scored the fucking first one. And he even said, I should be banging that in. Made this level of forward that Liverpool have brought in. I don't even think people understand what we've got on our hands here. This could be like a Suarez type, do you know, where he's just fucking bang and goal.
Yeah.
And,
mate,
he's unbelievable, mate. Give us your thoughts on that, especially the goal.
Look, so I did the watch along for Anfield Index, and there was someone who commented on it going, oh, but we beat them 6-1 in, I think it was like 2015 or something. And my argument to it was, yeah, but if you look at that team, we had to field our best 11 because we had no one behind them who could even do that to Southampton. Like our depth back then was a piece of piss. Like there was no one there.
Yeah.
Isak coming in, and the fact that we've got him rotating with Ekitike is mental. Like the amount of depth we've got up top is insanity. I've said it a billion times. We're not in a situation where it's like you had Michael Owen and then behind him you had like Karl-Heinz Riedel or like fucking Shane Dundee or like fucking Suarez is there and then behind him and Sturridge it's fucking Aspas. Like we're not in that situation anymore.
Hugo.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak, and Isak getting off the mark. We said a few days before it's a perfect game for him to be in because it gets his confidence up, it gets him that goal. Diogo Jota's first goal for us was against Lincoln, and from then on it just spiraled. You need those matches to see him thrown in the team straight away at the deep end, and the fact that he didn't even get that much service because so much of the attack and threat was to Chiesa and Ngamoa, who created nothing for him, and he still got a goal. Shows the quality of player that he is and how much he's already impacting this team. So imagine when he's got those players behind him and out wide who can contribute more to him, mate. It's fucking mental to see. I'm still not convinced he's going to join us. All these Newcastle reports and stuff saying, not going anywhere.
Not for sale, don't remember, lads.
I'm just ecstatic. I can't remember the last time, well, before Verts at least, that I was this excited for us to sign an attacker. Probably Torres. Like, it's nuts, mate, how far we've come in such a short space of time over the past 10 years.
Do you know what? Ross was saying that Ross was on Anfield Index with me yesterday. He's just saying that this first of many surreal to have him in our team. The question, I'll put this one to you, Rick. Ross is saying, question, a few years time, do you think we'll look back at Hugo and Isak as being one of the best partnerships in the Prem? I think this, Rick, is going to be like Salah and Mane competition. Not that, obviously people were talking about they disliked each other in many ways, and I don't think it'll be like this, but these are just going to drive each other on, aren't they? We've had the fucking competition with Robbo and Trent. Do you know what I mean? And they drove themselves on. The numbers were unbelievable. And like, fucking hell, I struggle to see how defences are going to cope with these two.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at the level of the confidence from both of them. Ekitike's 22, 23, and the attitude and the confidence he has in his ability. When they did that interview, sat down with him the other day, what's the best defender you come against? None. And stuff like that. Yeah, like he's just gonna absolutely go bang, and he's at that level. He'll only just get better and better plan for us, and who better to learn under than a killer like Isak for Ekitike. I'm seeing people like go off on one, overreact about the red card he picked up the other night. Like he's got attitude issues and stuff like that. I thought it was great. I ain't gonna lie. Like I love a player.
Yeah, I'd love to be honest. I thought, for fuck's sake.
It's just you just see him walking back, and you just see Slot's facial reaction to him being sent off. So, but
you just see Frimpong going up to him, going, "Fucking, what you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh,
he just don't care.
You silly bastard.
Like both of the yellow cards he picked up were so like, what's the point? But listen, he misses the game of the weekend. It will just mean Isak has to play 10 minutes extra this weekend and get through it for us.
Lou, what was your? I know you laughed there with Ekitike's the red card, but even still, the guy's got something about him. And I said this on the show with Grizzly the night on the bedroom. As you go on there as well. But I like this arrogance. It's not a bad arrogance for me. Do you know what I mean? To be the best, you've got to act like the best. Cristiano Ronaldo was fucking like that for years. Luis Suarez was, mate. It was like, I'm the big dog around here. And I don't think he's trying to be over the top. I just think, when I seen him lift the shirt up and, stuff like that, all right, fucking hell. Someone needs to just say, lad, it's Southampton in the Carabao, just fucking turn it down a notch. But I mean, he's ultimately. I felt like it was for me. I don't know what your take was, but it was like, don't forget I'm here as well. I think it was just, Rick. You mentioned before, some of the pundits just fucking talking it down all the time, as if one's in, one's out, which I disagree with. I don't know what your take is, but I think it's a good sign. You know, how many goals is he on now, Luke?
4, 5. He got 3. His third was against Everton, so that was his 5th in total if you count the Community Shield.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think you're absolutely right. You need that. When Rio Ngamoa came out and went, look, I want to win the Ballon d'Or, I want to do this, you will be hard-pressed to find a Liverpool fan who went, bit much that, mate. I want my attacker to be confident. They are meant to be the most confident player on that pitch. You hear Van Dijk talk, you never hear him go, oh, you know, I'm not sure about this match. He's saying, no, we want to win every fucking trophy. I want to win every single match. I want that. I'm done of the days of us being the underdogs. We're the champions. We're the leaders of this league for a fucking reason. I don't want to hear people saying, oh, this team's better, this player's better. No, we are the best by merit, by trophy haul, by every aspect that you can look at. And for Ekitike to come into this team, and there were discussions over, did he know Isak was coming in? Was he told that he was? Did he know this and that? The fact that he's stepping up and scoring, saying to Isak almost, you know what, it doesn't matter how hard you try, it doesn't matter how well you play, I am going to be here and there or thereabouts scoring goals. I am going to be forcing the issue of being in this team. And we had that competition with Bradley and Trent a few years ago where Bradley was knocking on the door saying, no, I'm good enough to be the starting right back. We need that because we can't be in a situation like a few years ago where as soon as our first teamers get injured, like you touched on the Mane Salah comparison then. Brilliant observation to make. The only thing I would say with it is Mane and Salah were both playing at the same time. And if you took them out, your backups were Shaqiri, Origi. No disrespect to them, but they're not the same caliber. Origi and Ekitike are both fighting for that same space, and you can interchange because they're both just brilliant players. So having that level of competition, confidence is so important in that scenario for either one of them. So I want to see more of it. I want Isak coming out and going, do you know what, Ekitike, I'm going to fucking outscore him. And then I want Ekitike calling Isak a bitch or something. I want them to be at each other's throats, pushing one another. That's what I want to see from this club and those players.
But you can see, you see when Isak scored, you see the reaction for Ekitike, because when Isak was celebrating, you see Ekitike warming up, and he was like excited for Isak to score, like cheering him on, like. And I mean, like, but you've got these pundits,
strikers in fucking Europe to learn from. I just want to mention as well, shout out to Judge Mo, really top fella. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to his channel. But you know what, Rick, I love this competition, as in these two in particular, because Louis, we spoke about it recently. I felt like we've been a winger team, but not now. We are not now. We're 9s and 10s. We want to be going down the middle a notch. And I think, Rick, the one little thing we'll get better. It's annoying me at the minute, but I understand it is we need to be getting the fucking ball fired into the number 9s a bit quicker. Yeah. Now, I think that will come. But in particular, Rick, we have to talk about Federico Chiesa. Because for me, look, regardless if it's Southampton or not, this fella's attitude is amazing. You know, he's a player. I think that I think last year he struggled with his fitness. That's the truth. The fitness is what led him to hardly play any games. But what he did the other night, he deserves a good goal. Now that would be the only thing I'd be disappointed with Arne Slot this year is if he doesn't start giving him more chances. I feel like he won't let you down, Rick, and he certainly didn't the other night.
Yeah, I mean, you see in the League Cup final when he got us back in, he got us a goal near the end.
Picked us up, didn't he?
Yeah, the Bournemouth game at the start of the season, he come on, got us the winner in that game. Again, like the other night, he was superb. I thought, got the assist for Isak's goal. There just must be, if you don't get some, not I'll say starts, but if you don't get some more minutes in the next couple of games, because Gakpo's in terrible form, if I'm being honest. So Chiesa's there that can get more minutes on that side. Why we're missing Ekitike the weekend. But if he don't, there must be something more going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing, that why Chiesa's not getting picked and stuff like that. It's all right being happy around the camp, like great attitude and stuff like that. But if you're not showing it in training, you're not just going to get picked based on because you've got a good attitude around the club and stuff like that. You need to be on it because this team's got high levels.
Very high levels.
Yeah, you've seen the players that have come in who have missed that as well in minutes that are top quality. But yeah, I thought it was all done for Chiesa. If you're looking at the Plymouth game last season, I thought he was done. I thought he would have gone this summer. And I still stick by that. I still think he would have gone this summer if the situation with Jota never happened. Chiesa could have been out the door in the summer because there was a few Italian teams looking at him for the World Cup squad this year. But obviously he stayed. He's knuckled down. He got left out the Champions League squad as well. And you see his comments recently. I found it quite telling that the comments recently come out about Chiesa talking about the Champions League squad after the Leone injury, where we all know Chiesa's now going to get picked in that squad, and the comments got released the same day. But yeah, I'd like to see him get some more minutes. I'm not sure I'd start him. If I did, it would just be for Gakpo for this game till TK's back. But yeah, we do. It's a different option. Teams ain't prepared for Chiesa. He's quite direct as well. Runs at defenders. Where Salah's not really that type of winger no more. He likes to pick a pass. You've seen him for the Gravenberch at the weekend, the assist there. We've got Salah. But it's going to be interesting. We've got to deal with Ekitike missing. And if rumours are to be true, I don't know what you boys think, but the 2 weeks fined wages, I think, is a bit harsh. But
I don't believe that.
I can't see this. I don't know where that comes from.
Top off. He never took his fucking kecks off.
Mate, I'd forget my own name if I scored at Anfield. I wouldn't know what was going on.
I'd be fucking running up and down the fucking cup. I'd be having fucking clothes off and everything. I'd be fucking banned for everything. Fucking red card wouldn't have even touched the side. You're fucking out of it. You know what, Lou? Like Chiesa for me, I want it so much for him. I want him to fucking play. I really like the player, and let's make no mistake about it. This is no fucking shite player. Let's be honest about it. This is a fella that's been at the top of his game, and he was a £100 million player not a long time ago.
Yeah.
And for me, he looked like a little bit of his old self. Let's make no mistake, Lou. Have you seen a player as good as him fucking striking a ball with both feet?
I mean, you'd be hard pressed, to be honest. Oh God, you're getting me going back. I'm trying to think now of someone who's been. I'll come back with that one, but no, look, I'm happy for him because he's not someone who. So many footballers would have forced that move this summer with the World Cup coming up. Knows he's not in the plans. Essentially, the Bournemouth goal didn't do him any favors because I think that's when we decided, right, we've got to keep him around, and then immediately he's not in the Champions League squad. He's not making the bench for the Everton match, and I was like, right. It's harsh on him, but I get it. He didn't force the move. It's his own doing, so to speak. But hearing him come out and saying, look, I'll do what I need to. I'm fitter than ever. I will do whatever's necessary for this team. I want that personality around this camp. And for Chiesa, who, like you said, Rick, like he can play a multitude of different positions. He's very versatile. He's very fluid in what he does. And based off that Plymouth game, for example, when people were saying, well, he was awful in that game, that sealed his fate. No one was good in that match.
Yeah.
But so if we're going off of that, so many of them, and some of them have left, but no one was good that day. No. Chiesa at least gives you energy. He was throwing himself around against Southampton. He was flying into the billboards. He was sliding into tackles. He was committing. He won that ball for Isak's goal because he was committed and he was pressing. He was doing his job more effectively than any other attacker that day, and he won the ball back and got us the assist. Then gets another assist on the left-hand side. In the Champions League, where we're playing teams who are a bit more expansive, will push forward a bit to go for a goal. That's perfect, having someone who can interchange positions and can run in behind and is capable on the ball. So I'm happy for him because he deserves it. We've had worse players get more appearances. Do you know what I mean? Like there's been utter shit in this team who's stuck around far longer than it needed to. Like fucking if shit like. For Chiesa, who's like he's a Euros winner, Champions League experience, valued at £100 million one day, I'm happy to have that as our backup option at the moment. And when Salah goes to AFCON, we're going to need a natural right winger, not Jeremy Frimpong in that position, mate. So I'm pleased that he's sticking around.
100%. Do you know, I'll put this one to you. 2 questions. I thought, fucking, we're talking about GTA games and shit here, but question to you, though, Lou. We'll go with the Liverpool question.
Yeah.
I'll have to change the fucking name of the channel in a minute. Fucking talking about GTA. But does Chiesa start at the Gakpo, Lou? Or would you start him? I don't think he will, but would you?
Oh, mate, at the minute, Gakpo's not even making the... Ngamoura would be starting over Gakpo at the minute, the way he's been going. I'd be up for it. I'd be well up for it. He's really good on the left. I think he played against PSV on the left, didn't he, last season, the Champions League, and he was good there. But Gakpo will start inevitably because while he's not scoring and he's not getting the assist, he plays the way Slot wants him to. He's a system player, and I think Slot appreciates it. Yeah, so he will start, but mate, I'd be well up for starting Chiesa over him on Saturday against a back five with fullbacks that with wing backs even that like to bomb forward. There's going to be space to work with, and Gakpo doesn't exploit that.
But we've spoke about it a few times actually. You know, I think my biggest fucking problem. I like Gakpo, and it may sound like I'm fucking having a go. He's not in good form. He's in fucking terrible form. My issue with Gakpo this year is sometimes he had Lucho to fucking bail him out at times. You know what I mean? He obviously then went down the middle. The thing that I worry with Gakpo is I look at him and I think he's a bit nice. Chiesa's not fucking nice. He's a sly little bastard. Do you know what I mean? Loves to throw himself in. But anyway, it's one of them. I'd like him to start myself, but I don't think he will. Ryan's just saying here, do a pick weights. Could do, lads. The games are going to come for him, lads. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about Florian Wirtz. But Rick, we've talked good news there. We've had Isak goals, Ekatike goals. Bit of bad news with the red card. But then we just spoke well for Chiesa. The bad news is the ACL for Leone, and it's devastating for the club. That I thought he was fucking brilliant in that game. And debut, what luck do you have to have in your foot to do a fucking ACL in your debut?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the game, he looked more the senior player out of the two, comfortable of him and Gomez at centre half. And as bad as the injury is, I'm just glad he's 18 years of age. I mean, younger players come back quicker than some of the older type players with that type of injury. If it is 9 months, you probably won't see him again this season. I think they'll save him now. He might have been in for a shout to go with the Italian squad to the World Cup in and around it. I won't say start, but it'd be in and around like he was.
Talking about him today.
Yeah, he was. So hopefully he can come back. Like, listen, it's not 10 years ago where you done your ACL, you're pretty much finished. Your career's done. The technology, the medicine these days is a lot more advanced. We see Rodri come back quite quicker than expected. I know they probably rushed him back, but he looks to start to be getting back to his normal self. So who knows? It might. I won't say it's going to help his career, but it's obviously he'll come back stronger. He might build a bit more muscle and toughen up a little bit with the rehab, and then we go again with him next season. But he's got players around him that have done it. Wirtz has done it twice. Gomez has done it twice. Van Dijk's done it. Chiesa's done it. So he's got the players around him that have done it, been through the whole rehab. So you see the players the other day commenting on his Instagram. So it just shows the love of the squad have got for players. So hopefully they can rally around him, get him through it, and he come back stronger.
100%. Look, shout out to Mo, good friend of the channel, and obviously he joins me and Lou on the Anfield Index for the bedroom. Lou, it took the spin off the night for me, the Leone injury. I can't imagine how the club felt because, do you know, when I was watching, I was thinking, fucking hell, he looks like he's got that Virgil about him. Calm, cool, fucking, didn't even look like he broke a sweat. And, mate, what the fuck happened? How did that happen?
Mate, I had like Oxlade-Chamberlain flashbacks in a sort of different position on the pitch, but going in for a tackle and flying off, and it's cruel. Like, it's a horrible. He's waited to get his debut. We all knew it was going to be against Southampton. He's come on, and like you said perfectly there, of the two, you'd think he's the one who's been here for 10 years. He was composed on the ball, his anticipation, brilliant in the air. It's just a horrible turn of events for him, not just because this was his first season, his first match with us, but like you said, that Italy squad, he was already in and around the squad. I think he got called up to the last international. So the World Cup was a viable option for him, mate. And it's just one of those things. It's his commitment to the tackle, the way he falls, the way he bends. But I think he's in the best hands. Like, no disrespect to Palmer. I think the medical treatment he'll probably get here will be a lot more. We saw what it did for Van Dijk. He's going to get more. Yeah, top draw, mate, spot on, like compared to what he'd be getting at Palmer. So I think he's in the best place for it. He's surrounded by people who have been through it, like Rick said perfectly. I'm gutted for him, but my main worry now is obviously football is a very reactive game, and it's a selfish game in a sense. My worry now goes back to we didn't pull the trigger on Gahey when we should have, and now we're in the exact situation we were dreading. But it's Leone who's got injured instead of Gomez. But Gomez will probably get a knock at some point. There's no guarantee Canate stays fit. There's no guarantee, touch wood, that Van Dijk stays fit. Do you know what I mean? So we need to move in January fast for this deal, because this isn't something where he's out for a few weeks, mate. He's out for months. He could be out for the season. So if the club want ambitions of fighting for all the trophies, like Van Dijk saying and like Slot saying, got to sign someone.
100%. It's, you mentioned Gomez there. Fucking hell, you'd be lucky to get a month out of it. That's the problem.
Mate, it was awful the other night.
Do you know what? That was the segment I was going to move into, because I wanted to get both of your opinions. I'll come to you first, Rick. But, just there in Lou there, it puts a bit of fucking PTSD in you. We've seen us fucking, after the title win, our fucking midfielders playing centre half. And touch wood. I've got no fucking wood around me, but I mean, touch wood and fucking all tiles. So we're fucked. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a big blow for Liverpool. And as Lou's just said, I think our motives changed at this club. I don't think we're risk takers anymore. I think we'll be trying to lock something in for January, and I'm hoping, fucking that the club have worked something out previously with Palace to say, look, I think Palace were the ones that probably said, look, we need him till January. So I'm hoping Liverpool are speeding things up. It was the position we talked about all summer, wasn't it? That we were all a bit like, got to shore it up. We bring in this player who looks a fucking phenomenal talent. We didn't even get a full game out of him. But in particular, a couple of players, Rick, looked out of form. And they were the more experienced players. I don't think Endo had a great game. He got better. Joe Gomez stunk the house out. I thought that was one of the worst performances I've seen from Joe. And I'm very surprised. And there's no doubt in Joe's attitude. There's no doubt in his quality. I think the worst enemy for Joe is himself. He can't get on the pitch. And that probably brings out the worst performance in him, Rick, isn't it? Because he doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, there's in football, you can get bypassed quite quickly in terms of where the squad's at. And I think where Gomez is at is not where Liverpool are at no more in terms of that type of quality. If he could stay fit every week, it won't be an issue, but he can't. It's the same with Konate. He picks up little injuries here and there, which is quite concerning. I said to you before we come on air that you've got players that can play emergency centre-back. You've got Bajcetic, he was a centre-back at Celta Vigo.
Yeah.
He turned into a DM, so he could play there in emergency. Endo, Gravenberch can play there. But going back off the Endo performance in midweek, he's another player that I think we're bypassed. He shouldn't be starting games, whether it's cup games or anything. He's a shutout guy. He's someone you bring on with 10 to 15 minutes to go to shut games out, to keep the win. But we're in a position where the club obviously kept him in the summer because, again, he could play centre-back. But the goal we conceded against Southampton, like I couldn't even tell you what he was trying to attempt to do, because he went attempting to head to the ball. So what was it? I don't get the movement of him. His passing is not good enough. It's just, there was moments in the game where we was on the counter and he just slowed it down when he got on the ball, because he turns like he is an old man, and he's near my age. Look, it's just I've never Like I've always said to you, Ben, I've never been a fan of Endo. Like this. He's got a cult following at Liverpool, and I just don't get it. I don't think he's good enough.
Who's this, for Endo?
Yeah, Endo. I just don't get it. Like,
he's definitely a fan favourite. There's no doubt.
I don't get why. But why though? Because he wears a gum shield and boots people up in the air for 10 minutes.
I think it's because he's someone who, I'm like a fucking broken record when it comes to certain quotes to say, but I think every squad you need that player who's like a versatile, like Michael Thomas back in like the 90s he was fucking Roy Evans' wet dream. He was playing centre back, he was playing right back, midfield. James Milner, for example, for us. I think you need those players who are a sort of, if there's no other option, just stick him there and he'll do a job. I think that's maybe
do a job, though, Lou. He fucking will do a job, won't he? 10 minutes.
He will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 10 minutes, but not 90-minute games. Like,
definitely not.
This was a team that was 17th in the Championship, struggling. Didn't have their bet. They made 9 changes at Southampton team as well. So it weren't their best team out, and he still struggled.
I think the thing is, you're going to have players who don't play a lot that are going to be, we're talking of Isak's fit, but he's not match fit. That's a big difference. I think with Endo though, like for where we're going, he's not the player anymore, and I think this is where you're seeing the Belabor and the Wharton links popping up. Because Liverpool have to have. He's got to be a bit. I like Endo. I know what he is. He's a game shutter out. He's not a game starter. I think we could both agree on that. If we're having to fucking start him in a game against Arsenal in the league, or do you know what? I can see us getting them in the Champions League at fucking some stage. You don't want him to be the fucking starter. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real about it. But he's been a good servant for Liverpool in the short space of time he's there. He'll have a good go, and I think that's what he's there for. But Rick, I can't disagree. We've moved on, and so he'll be moved on eventually, won't he?
Yeah, like something there. Adam put there. He's not a centre midfielder. He's probably more of a centre back now at the stage of his career.
So he doesn't have to fucking move around.
Yeah, and he can just do what he wants to, like them tackles he puts in and stuff like that. Get rid of the ball quick. Just hoof the ball up the field if he wants to. Like just fucking do anything with it. But yeah, like I said, we've moved on from him. Like you said, I do expect him to go in the summer. But at the minute, lack of centre backs, he's an option to put there if need be. Like I said, Reece Williams is still about, so I'm sure he'll be on the bench now and again.
Fucking
can't believe his luck.
He made his debut. He was demented.
I bet the kid can't believe his luck when he got off the bus the other night.
Oh fucking!
I forgot he was still around.
It's fucking. Most just say it. Do we believe any of these reports stating that Gay's feud with LFC is now considering elsewhere as that clear?
Nah.
But I think that's a load of bollocks, to be honest. It wasn't fucking Liverpool, was it? It was just fucking cry-ass manager who we're going to be seeing on the fucking weekend. But Luke, I think I do agree with Vic, to an extent. I like the player myself, Endo, but in small doses. We're trying to go on all fronts. Big games, Champions Leagues, big games in the Premier League constantly. He's not the one that you want in all the time, and that shows with the minutes he's had. Because I thought it brought a bad game out for me. Wasn't bad all game, but I thought Curtis struggled being next to Endo.
Yeah. No, he did, mate. And look, Slot clearly sees something because I think the reports last summer were he's getting sold. Was it Frankfurt who came in for him?
Yeah.
Came in for an offer, and then Slot turned around and went, "No, actually, I want to keep him." I think he likes the leadership, and like you said, mate, we'll love Endo. That cup final, Klopp's kids, he was a fucking warrior in that game. He ran his arse off to the point where he was like cramping and falling down during the celebrations. He's brilliant. But like you said, he is a match see-outer. He's the last 15 minutes when you need someone to break up play and you just need your back four to get back into position. And we have moved on from that traditional number 6, the brick shithouse who just breaks everything up. But he's got a good character to him. I sound like Brendan Rodgers, but I don't know. I think at the moment we're fortunate to have someone who can play at centre back if you need it, who can play as a number 6 if you absolutely need it. Someone who will just do a job. And Jones the other day, I thought Jones had a really good game in the sense of his passing range, his versatility. He moved to left back when Robertson bombed forward, like Wijnaldum used to for Trent. He was in between players. He was good in between the lines. His passing was good. But he had to do double work because of Endo was poor in that first half, and that's not doing him any help. We do need someone who can deputise for Gravenberch, who can play a similar type of role. Because Bajcetic, whether he's good enough when he comes back from injury, we don't know. Endo's not that type of player. Is McConnell going to get a chance? I hope he does when he comes back from Ajax. But there needs to be a contingency in place for when Gravenberch's out, and our only option in the middle there is Endo, because it just doesn't work. Yeah, no,
Luke, just a quick one. I'll put this one to you from Adam, who comes on here. Mate of mine. What do you think of it, Nioni? I think he looks I think he realistically is going to start to be the Ryan Gravenberch sub.
Yeah, he's good in that deeper role, actually. And he's better when he's got time to work with and that. Look, he didn't blow me away against Southampton, but I'd rather a performance from him where he didn't do anything memorably good and he didn't do anything memorably wrong at this age. I don't want like 10 out of 10 Rio Ingamoa preseason levels. Like I do, but I'm not going to get that every single match from a kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that he just had a decent game, looked average, looked solid, did the job, and then got off without damaging his credibility like Gomez or Endo did. So I think he's a class player for his age, and he scored in pre-season, didn't he? Like, he's a real talent to have, and I'm happy that we got him from Leicester when we did, but I'm not expecting the world from him just yet. He's still only young, so it will come. I feel like he's going to get loaned out more often than not in the next couple of years. So
that's not a bad thing, though, and I agree.
No.
I think the club absolutely love him. They think he's the real deal. It takes time with these younger players, though, and the problem that we've got is, this is something like Tommy's saying. He does look a little bit lightweight, and that's it's true. These are like kids, aren't they? Let's make no mistake about it. What is he, 17? Fucking hell.
like that,
Yeah, and Mark's saying he only looked better in the deeper role than he did in the advanced role. I think he is. I think he's that sort of player. Adam's saying it here as well. He's better in the deeper role. Want to see him against Palace in the Cup, the grab role instead of Endo. That's where he needs to be moulded to. And look, if you just join us now, smash a like, subscribe. But Rick, we'll move into some good news for the club today. Rio Ngamoa gets his first pro contract at the club, signs a 3-year deal. I think it's amazing news. We knew it was going to happen anyway, but a player that probably didn't have his best game the other night, but we know what he is. That goal against Newcastle, Rick, is just fucking, he's going to take him to new levels. He's a massive talent. He's still a kid himself. And I'm very excited for what's to come. Lou, you mentioned it just before about him pushing Gakpo. Cody's got to fucking look over his shoulder a bit. And I think he looks like a player at the minute, Cody. I feel like fucking hammering him, but he looks like a player that doesn't have competition, which he does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he signed his new deal, 3-year deal. I'm seeing people complain about it's only 3 years, but in the game, you're only allowed to sign a 3-year deal under the age of 17 or 17. So I expect him to sign a new deal when he hits 18 or 19, like a longer term deal. But yeah, it's good. Like, listen, there's a reason why Chelsea is still complaining with the amount of money that they're due to get from him. It looks like it's going to go on till next year for him because we can't agree. And we got banned from their youth games as well. I don't know if that's still the case, but I mean, yeah, he looks an exciting talent. I mean, he got put in the Champions League squad ahead of Chiesa for a reason. So the club must really rate him highly. Obviously, like you said, he didn't have a good game the other night. But yeah, could he get some minutes this weekend against Palace? Who knows? Like you said, Gakpo is not in great form. But it's exciting times. Listen, we've been crying out for some youth players to come through the ranks or come through to the first team that looked good. That Nioni was a cam when we signed him from Leicester, but he seems to have found his position in the deeper role.
Definitely looks like he's started to grow up a notch as well, doesn't he? He looked fucking 12 when he was on the bench when he first came.
Yeah, you see the lads around AXA with the older players. They just look comfortable and look more mature and stuff like that. So it's exciting times for the younger players.
It's true, and bit of good news there for the club, as we just said, Lou. Rio, I think this player is going to be massive for Liverpool. He's obviously the club know they've got a serious player on their hands, and do you know when you see like some of the older players talk about him, they're worried when they come up against him. He said, I think, right, he's worthy for more minutes. We had this discussion the other day on the Red Room. I think he's worthy for more minutes. I think in them games against Southampton, their level can bring your players down a notch. Do you know what I mean? A bit sloppier. I thought Rio was being a bit ball greedy, which I get it. He's probably trying to strut around on the pitch, but when it matters in the big games, he's not going to be doing that with the Virgils. I was at Newcastle away, mate, and fucking nearly broke me fucking legs because of him coming down the stairs when he scored. Do you know what I mean? Fucking 2 miles up in the air as well. But I feel like that has just given him a new lease of life, and I think this is going to be a serious play for Liverpool.
Yeah. Mate, I was at the Accrington match when he came. I think that was his debut. I think
it was because I was there.
Yeah. And like the thing is, he was good on the day. It is just like you said. It's just holding onto the ball too long. But in some matches, like I think that Atletico Madrid game was crying out for Rio Ngamoa in the first half, mate, because they were there for this taken out wide. They had so much space in behind. He needed to start, and some opponents like that are going to give him so much time and space to work with. So he needs the minutes because he's a different type of player. The reason Diaz and Gakpo were so interchangeable is because they fit different styles. And if one way wasn't working, you could bring on, like, if Gakpo's cut back inside wasn't working, trying to find players in the middle wasn't working. Just put Diaz on and he'll just run past people.
Yeah,
if that's not working, put Gakpo on. Ingamoa gives you a different dimension, and sometimes it's nice to have those players who are willing to express themselves on the pitch, who will do something different. You look at Pep at the moment, what he did to Jack Grealish, what he does to Doku at points. They're game changers because of what they can do on the ball. Not every player needs to be a system player. Not everyone needs to play the exact same style, because what's the fucking point? I want Ingamoa to come on, get minutes, and put the fear of God in people, take on players. And we saw at Newcastle, and you can testify to this, when he came on, the first thing he did was try and beat 2 defenders at once. He puts belief in the squad that he can do that, and I want to see more of him in those type of matches. I think Palace in particular, the way they do 3 at the back, but push the wing backs high, suits his game more than it will a Gakpo. So,
mate, I'm telling you now, he will come on against Palace. And do you know, a lot of these players, you know, the opposition, they look at the starters for Liverpool. They'll be looking at this kid if he comes on and going, oh, fuck, how do we deal with him? Because he's tricky, a lot of feints and shit like that. And I'm telling you, I see him winning a lot of penalties for Liverpool. You know, Tommy's here Callum say, fucking hell, that game was atrocious. We'll be battering them 3 or 4-0. Part of the cup, lad, isn't it? Part of the cup. But Tommy said real better off the bench at the minute. Chiesa is looking over Gakpo's shoulder now. Adam said, good learning match with Rio. Everything won't go smoothly. He's had a good start. Now just build upon it.
That's a good point.
That is the truth. That is the truth. And at the end of the day, you're going to have tough moments. People think they're fucking robots. They're fucking not. They're human beings. You know what I mean? And football's difficult. And I don't think people understand. The kid's 17 fucking years of age. Do you know what I mean? He should be driving around on a bike with a can on the back tire. You know what I mean? Fucking making motorbike sounds. But unfortunately, he's running down the wing at Anfield. Unbelievable. He's a serious player. But Rick, we'll go touch up on the last part, because I want to finish before we wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. So I want to get some talk from Lou with regards to Palace. But again, the draw happens. Liverpool get Crystal Palace at Anfield. I thought it was quite a good draw for us. But again, I'm sick of the fucking sight of these.
I think Palace are looking at it, potentially rubbing their hands together. Because we know Palace obviously they've got a taste for trophies at the minute. Won the FA Cup last season, won the Community Shield against us this season. If Liverpool go weak like we did against Southampton, with potentially a few others involved, Palace might see it as an opportunity to go full strength and then go into the quarterfinals to have another good run at a cup, because obviously they're not a big tit like favourites to Europe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not like favourites to go into Europe in the positions in the Premier League, so they potentially see cup competitions as their way to get silverware, potential European places. Listen, whatever we think of Gladstone through the summer with the whole gay situation, he's a very, very good manager. So we need to, this weekend, they're the only other unbeaten team in England with us.
Yeah.
So we need to be
unbeaten, is it? Or
I think it's something like 18, 19.
Only us and Palace,
Yeah, so it's going to be, Slot's got to get his tactical plans spot on this weekend for Palace, because Selhurst Park's not a nice place to go. Fans are quite close to the pitch, and the noise they make, their fan base is unbelievable. I know a few mates that go there week in, week out, so it's going to be tough, but we just have to get through it. And again, the cup game at Anfield, depending what other sort of games are around it, I think it's the 27th visit of November or October. So yeah, depending on what games in and around, it's going to be tough selection for Slot in them games.
You know, obviously the cup game is a decent tie, at least for our own. But more importantly, I want to get your thoughts on the weekend, because I'm not going to get Rick's, because we're going to be talking about that in the coming days. So we'll end up doubling up the show if we do. Now, it is a tough game. They are unbeaten, we've just said there, but they're coming up against us. We're the best team in the fucking land at the minute. Let's make no mistake about it. I think I understand people's frustrations myself with Ekatike not being there. He's not a bad fucking fella to start down the middle, Lou, is it?
Mate, not fucking hell. Like,
it's not to start, lad. For fuck's sake.
Do you know what I mean? Like, of all the people, like everyone's like, "Oh God, we're gonna have to start Ekatike. We can't start Ekatike. We got Isak now." It's fucking what? what a conundrum we have. Like, I can't get over the fact that our biggest problem is, do we start the 130 plus million pound striker, or do we start the one like one of the best young talents in Europe? Like, it's fucking mental, this situation we're in. And like you say, Palace this season, it's not so much that they've been brilliant, it's just they've been hard to beat. And that's the biggest compliment you can give them this season is Oliver Glasner's looked at them and said, right, we've got a captain here who probably doesn't want to be here. We've lost Eze. We lost Elise last summer. Wharton's probably going to be going sooner rather than later. And they're still not getting beat. They're a difficulty. They've conceded the least goals in the league this season for a reason. They've got dangerous players. Ismail Assar causes all sort of problems in the Community Shield. But the only thing you can say about them is in the first 5 games, they've only scored 6. So there is a fact that if we can just shut up shop like we did against Arsenal, like we did against, maybe not Burnley because they sat back, but there's a real opportunity for us to press and go forward. And then against the back 3, now that we're a bit more settled than we were in that Community Shield match, because we saw that first half, mate, we were all over them. We were 2-0 up for a reason. We can exploit the gaps there in their defence. It is just a worry of going away to Selhurst Park, because that can be such a, we've seen time and time again, mate, the results that we can get there, they can go up our arse if we're not careful with it. But Palace this season in particular, like, they're not setting the world alight, and the teams they've like actually got results against, it's been Chelsea, who have been dog shit, Forest, the same story with them, Villa, the same with them, Sunderland, newly promoted, and West Ham, awful. So the teams they've got results against haven't been that good, and that's something that we can sort of bank on, and we can say, right, let's give them a real test. Let's have a real go at them. If Ekitike can't start, fine. Isak's going to... I prefer him going off the last man anyway. I think he's a bit better at it. He's got speed to follow up with it. The big thing I want is I want Gakpo and Salah to not always be cutting back in. I want them to exploit the space in behind. There's 3 defenders there. They're going to be stretched. They're going to be wide because of how wide Salah goes and how wide Gakpo goes. Find that space to work with. Like, if there's going to be plenty.
Give the fucking ball to the number 9. Do you know when he played the first game for us? Who was his fucking debut against?
Isak or?
Yeah.
Atletico.
Yeah. Mate, I was like, fucking give him the ball.
Yeah.
He need to fire it into him quick enough. Did you notice it in the Southampton game, Lou? He was on the left-hand side and he fucking smoked about 2 of the players. He's better than a number 9, isn't he? He's got all sorts to his game, lad. And he keeps going, give me the ball, because he can fucking do the turn himself and start running at them. Do you know what I mean? And I think the big question is for me, you know, Rick will touch up on it in our next show. I just want to get Lou's thoughts before we go. But I think the big conundrum is who plays right back and who goes in that midfield. Because I said it last night on the Red Room. I wouldn't be surprised if Szoboszlai goes right back and he still gets his midfield boys in there. Because if you look at the Arsenal game, Szoboszlai he played right back. He was probably the best player on the pitch. But we still did what we did last year, didn't we, with Trent, with the inverted fullback. He moved into midfield as well. He's got, what a fucking great option fucking list the manager's got, lads. It's like a fucking scroll, isn't it?
It's mental. But I can understand it. My only worry with it is the way of Crystal Palace stretching the play. You've got Ismail Assar out wide, he's a handful. You've got Mateta there. I just think if we go to that sort of Szoboszlai at right back and the main aim is for him to become inverted, you know, we're going to be very thin at the back. And I just think the way we've been defensively, I wouldn't be overly confident that we'd be able to just hold back what they've got going forward. And plus, I think Szoboszlai in that last game against Atletico, of course, but also against Everton, the work rate that he provides is so important because he's covering for a lot of, and it's no disrespect to Vert, but he's covering for a lot of the frailties in the way that he's played so far. He covers more ground. When Gravenberch goes forward, Szoboszlai is able to drop into that pivot. When Szoboszlai goes forward, it works vice versa. He's made himself undroppable in any position. And Frimpong and Bradley, if we can't trust them at right back, what's the plan going forward? Because Szoboszlai can't be a full-time solution there. He's too important in midfield at the moment. We've just signed this Bayer Leverkusen title win and unbeaten season right back for a reason. And I think he started off poor in some matches, but he's also had good games. So I think I'd be keeping Frimpong right back, moving Szoboszlai back into midfield and just don't push McAllister. I know he's had a bit of rest now, but I'm still cautious with it.
Yeah, we've spoken about it a lot, Rick, haven't we? Macca's form. He did show good parts in the derby, but I feel like he knackered out quite quick, Macca. Rick, didn't you think that as well?
Yeah, I won't be starting him this weekend, but me and you will get into it more over the
He's a favourite of the manager. The manager loves him.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably start, isn't he?
Yeah, just you've got to be careful with him because no one knows actually what's wrong with him. We all think he's got an injury and he needs an operation, but clearly Slot and the club don't think that because they keep selecting him, giving him more playing time. But Szoboszlai is going to be key in this game, his energy with the Palace boys in and around. If someone can just get on Walton in the game, it'll be a lot easier for us.
And fucking Will Hughes, won't it?
Yeah, they love bringing him on or off. One of the two that Will Hughes, because obviously Decore's out.
Is that other lad out? Is it not Kamada? Is it Kamada?
Oh yeah, Kamada. They played
him.
Yeah,
he was playing for a bit, wasn't he? But
yes,
but he loves that Will. That Will Hughes has had some good games against us, hasn't he?
He was linked to us, wasn't he? He was linked to us when he was at Derby, was it?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be coming to us like the next superstar, but obviously it hasn't panned out. And he does a job at Palace. He's picked up some trophies now, so at least he's got something to show.
It's going to be a good game, and I'll tell you what, Lou, I want your score prediction next, and obviously I want you to tell everyone where they can find your channel and all that stuff. But this is a great game for Liverpool. If Liverpool win, Arsenal's arses are twitching, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, so if we do this, we've been St James's Park and dicked them. We've beat Bournemouth, who aren't pushovers. We've beat title rivals Arsenal. Didn't get CEOs calling us, but is what it is. We beat a Burnley team who defended with their lives. Everton in a derby, which it doesn't matter how good we're doing, they can get a result. And then if we beat Palace at Selhurst Park, which for us is a bit of a, we've lost there before, we've drew there before, we get bad results there from time to time. It'd be a statement win. It'd be a statement result beating them, and it's the only other unbeaten team, like you rightfully said, Rick. So if we can get a result against them, that's massive. Because don't forget as well, Glasner sounds that it's a bit random, but he's being linked to the United job now. So if you can beat him and essentially say, look, fucking do what you want, we're still going to batter you no matter where you go. I think that's a big thing. If it's a prediction score, oh God, I'm gonna stick with the. I think 2-1. I'm gonna stick with the trusty. We will probably concede, mate. Look, against Palace, we normally concede. Let's be honest. So I think a 2-1 win here would probably do us.
Like, mate, I'd take a fucking 1-0 right at the end just to fucking boil all the piss of the country, lad. To be honest, but just before we go, I was saying it last night. I think the manager, the noise he heard at the game in the Community Shield from their fucking fans when the Jota thing was going on, I think that'll have pissed a lot of the players off as well. I personally think we're going to see Liverpool up the ante on fucking Crystal Palace and absolutely wipe the floor with them. Look, don't get me wrong, that's not me saying it's just going to be a stroll in the park. Of course not. No Premier League games. They're all big games, and they're a good side. He's a good manager. Mate, they wanted him out at the start, so he's massively turned it round. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're now saying he's their best ever fucking manager. But we're Liverpool Football Club. And Liverpool, we thrive in these occasions. Every game's a big game. And, mate, this is where the league are going to see what Alexander Isak's about for Liverpool. I see him scoring on the weekend, Lou. And I'd take 2-1, of course I would. But look, we'll wrap it up here. Lou, thanks very much. It's been great having you on. And you're more than welcome to come on any time. I've said that to you many times. But tell everyone where they can follow you and your channel.
Oh, I'm shit at this stuff. Well, my one's on the thing beneath Beyond the Cop. I need to get more consistent with it, but it's like Liverpool history. It's top 10 lists. It's me just ranting and raving, trying to be funny. But I want to try and do this full time. So if anyone does want to come and watch it, by all means, get involved. And you'll see me on Red Men tomorrow as well. I'll be on Red Men TV again, so you'll find me there at some stage.
Right, thanks very much for coming on. And Rick will be back Saturday around 10, 11, somewhere in and around that area, I'm sure. If you're not fucking hungover again.
No. I'm sweet.
Fucking hell. We'll see when you wake up and it's like, now here we go again. Fucking hell. Look, it is what it is. Liverpool, get the job done, move on. We're playing Palace again in the Cup. Big game. We're playing Palace on the fucking weekend. I'm sick to the fucking sight of them, but Liverpool could make it 6-6. And I tell you what, if Liverpool win, which I'm expecting them to, I know the boys are here as well. Mikel Arteta is not going to be getting phone calls off CEOs, is he? So it's what it is. Smash like and subscribe, and we'll be back on Saturday. See you soon up the fucking Reds.